Recording in progress. Recording in
conduct one more
progress.
session for those who missed it out. And we found many students, many participants appreciating it, how they found it valuable in their practical life. That's the reason when we decided that we should do it online also for those who are out of town, unable to attend for whatever reason. So thank you so much for taking out your time and joining us here today evening. So as you all are aware, don't say yes when you want to say no. It's a big challenge how we can politely, firmly, assertively say no to certain demanding situations. But we are forced to say yes sometimes. We find it difficult to say no. But due to various reasons, we end up saying yes. I'm just recalling certain incidents in my college life as a student of engineering staying in a hostel. This was about 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. When I got in touch with devotees, I got in touch with the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. So before coming in touch with our ISKCON devotees, it was like a regular life where you do all regular activities, go for party, eat everything, enjoy. But when I was in third year, that's when I came in touch with devotees. That's when I first got a copy of the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, and other small books of Srila Prabhupada. So when I started reading those books, it was like a cultural revival for me, because I had heard all these stories and philosophical points to some extent from my childhood. My mother and father used to narrate all these stories to me. So that way I had some familiarity with these cultural aspects, but without any philosophical understanding, without any proper scientific understanding. So all those things just remained a theory somewhere in the back of the mind, without any solid reason to apply them into my life. So then I finished my regular college, SSC, HSC, and then I joined the engineering. And that was like a whole shift in culture. All these 12, 17 years you stay at home, you're raised in a certain environment, suddenly you move into a hostel where you're away from your parents, you feel homesick and far away from home, a few 100 kilometers away. I was studying in a place called Raigad district, 150 kilometers away from here. And then in the hostel environment, totally different food. You don't get home food. You don't get loving relation. Everything is new. Everyone is new. And then over that, you have study pressure, exam pressure. So I was kind of going through a emotional turmoil when I got in touch with devotees. And when I got the philosophy of the Gita, I found, oh, this is my shelter. This is what I was really looking for. But then that demanded a certain change in lifestyle, certain change in habits, certain additional practices, like the chanting of the holy names, which we do every day. All those things I slowly, gradually began. So I remember one typical day when I was in the hostel and I had this copy of the Gita in the college, in the room library, the bookshelf. And one of my friends coming and asking, so what is this? You have all the engineering books. Suddenly you have the Gita. Why? Why do you want the Gita? So I said, what's the problem with the Gita? So no, but this is not the age to study the Gita. Why all this kind of? He didn't use the word superstition, but that's what he indicated, implied. Why? Who has seen all this?
Define a no. What is a no? A no is a very small, but it is a very, very powerful word. It's a powerful word. It has the potency to stop a person. It has the power to stop a person, right? Just by saying a loud no, we can actually stop any miscreation, right? Any dirty act, any dirty, not necessarily a dirty act, frankly speaking. It could be anything that we don't like, so that can be stopped by saying no. So no itself by itself is not a dirty word. And we are going to learn to say no today, how to say no without feeling guilty, because that's something which pricks all of us. Once we say a no, we start feeling guilty. So we also will learn why saying no increases the value of the things we say yes to. All right. There are many things in our life that we want to say yes to, right? We would love to do all the things in life. Ye bhi karu, everything, whatever is possible. But it is difficult to say a no, right? Second. All right. Is it okay to say no? I'm asking this question to you all. The audience is awfully quiet today. Why? Anyone can answer this question. Is it okay to say no? It is, right? It is okay to say no. So it is okay to say no if we would like to have a say in what happens in our... Yes, Vandana? Please unmute. You have a question? All right.
But it is sometimes difficult to say no to our family members, and it is easier to say no to the outsiders. That is where sometimes we are not able to say no.
Yes, ma'am. We will be covering that part. Don't worry. All right. So we will be covering that part in the presentation today. So the question is it okay to say no? See, the answer here is yes, it is okay to say
Yes,
no.
yes, it is
Yes.
okay to say no.
Yeah. So if we want to have a say in what happens in our life, okay, like if we want to define what happens in my life, if I want to define what happens in my life, I have to learn to say a no, right? I can't say yes to everything, because somewhere at the end of the day, we will end up doing a lot of other people's work, and not only work, we will be taking care of the needs of other people and probably neglecting our needs. All right. So we will come to that point, ma'am, later, right? We want to maintain a healthy value of self-worth. All right. If you want to have an important and a proper, I would say, combination of self-worth in your life, then it is important for us to sometimes, put our needs before the needs of others when it is priority and when it is important. We don't want to spend our life overwhelmed. Okay. There are many situations in our life when we feel so burdened with so many responsibilities and so many things to be done. Finally, and that is because we have not been able to say no to certain things which would have probably led to the situation that we are in now. So if you want to survive, just survive, then okay, take on whatever comes your way, do whatever others tell you, then that's surviving. But if you really want to progress and thrive, then we have to learn to say no. So today we will be learning how to do that. So I'm just covering why it happens and how it happens, and then I'll move on to what can be done and how we can probably learn to do that. Say the no. All right. So why is it difficult to say no? This is a question to the audience. Can anybody answer? Why is it difficult to say no?
Maybe because we are guilt ridden, that someone would feel bad, or we might unknowingly hurt someone else, and uh, the basically the guilt ridden thing.
Right. So there is a tendency in us to please others. Agreed? Yes? Right? So many of us feel that way, that I have to please my family members, I have to please my husband, I have to please my wife, I have to please my children, I have to please my relatives, I have to please my friends, I have to please my friends not only physically but also on social media. So that's a very powerful social influencer. Okay, so it is difficult to say no because number one, as Vrushali just said, the guilt part, that you feel guilty if you say no. Second, and why do you feel guilty? Because we have a tendency to please people. I want to please this one also, that one also, A B C D जो भी है मेरे life में मुझे सबको please करना है. Is it possible? Is it humanly possible? It's not, right? We cannot please everybody in our lives. We are not some superhuman being who can do everything that everyone tells us to do the way they want us to do, right? So the first part is nature versus nurture. Some of us have a nature which is very giving, which is very like a nurturing nature, we say, compassionate, very kind. So these such people cannot say no. It's very difficult for them to say. And the other aspect is the nurturing. Nurturing means while we have been brought up, during our phase of growing up, there have been many aspects of our life where we have been told what to do. You know, we have been influenced by caregivers. Now, caregivers could be parents, it could be grandparents, could be siblings, relatives, anybody, like when you go somewhere, you're not supposed to talk loudly, you're not supposed to behave in this manner, you're not supposed to do this, that, in the way. So there have been certain things which you have wanted to do in a specific manner, but it has been curbed because your caregiver has told you not to do it in a specific manner. Now, it could have been right, it could have been wrong. Now, we are not sitting here to debate whether what he or she told you at that point in time was right or wrong. But if you've not had the discriminatory power at that time, you do have it now, right? Now you have the discriminatory power, so you can use it now to identify what is good for you, what is bad for you, right? So now is the time where you actually take the first step, to see to it that you're not influenced by anybody when you are saying a yes. The yes has to come because you genuinely, really, and would love to do that particular activity. All right. Second is, as I told earlier, also social media. Social media has a very, very powerful influence on what we do, how we act, what we dress, how we dress, what we eat, how we look. So social media has penetrated into all aspects of our lives. There has been some amount of controlled parenting which has led to this specific behavior. All right. So we've never learned to say no to anybody who's an authoritative figure. So that is why it is difficult for you to say no even now. It becomes a habit, it becomes a pattern of behavior. Then we also have a tendency to strive for perfection. So when we have a tendency to strive for perfection and not progression, then it becomes difficult to say no. Okay. We have not been able to, or we have not been allowed to take decisions in our life. So what happens is, when you're allowed to take decisions, you're allowed to make mistakes. And when are you allowed to make mistakes? When you're allowed to say no. So when you never said no and you haven't made mistakes, so obviously you're not been allowed to take decisions in your life. All right. So while growing up, These are certain things which I wanted to share with you. Saying no was not really acceptable. Slogans were posted all around wherever we went. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. It's normal to give away a little of one's life in order to not lose it all. But in the process, we'll end up losing it all. All right. In giving, we receive. As I told you, some people are very compassionate and giving nature. So they keep giving, 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 giving. And one fine day they realize, मैं empty हो गई हूँ या मैं empty हो गया हूँ. I don't have anything left to give now. So now I want someone to give to me. So let's not reach a stage where we give so much that we have nothing left, So first, there's something known as the personal bank account and the relationship bank account. So in the personal bank account, what happens is that you invest in yourself. I invest in myself. That is my personal bank account. How much I invest on my health, how much I invest on my energy, how much I invest on my academics is my personal bank account in my relationships. Okay. So that is my personal bank account. What is a relationship bank account? How much I invest in others. Okay. So if we invest too much in others and less in ourselves, there is an imbalance. Again, if we invest too much in ourselves and less in others, again, there is an imbalance. So we have to remember that it is a tightrope balancing. You have to balance your needs vis-a-vis the needs of others. All right. So these statements cannot be argued. Okay. So we don't get into that aspect now. We don't argue all these statements. So why does it happen? The first thing it happens is that you follow the golden rule. Do unto others. अरे इसने ऐसा कर दिया तो मुझे भी ये करना पड़ेगा. इसने मुझे दे दिया. It happens. You must have observed actually in your family is very close. If you see, there is a close knit in a society. किसी ने मेरे लिए कुछ लाके दे दिया तो immediately I have to fill it up and give it back. That is the social norm. All right. And if you don't fill it up for some reason, probably you don't have something as a by mistake, तुमने गलती से वो प्लेट वापस दे दिया, खाली प्लेट दे दिया, so they will look at you as if you're committed the biggest crime of your life, of the century. So this is a small example I'm giving. I mean, it can go way beyond a lot of things, So we follow the golden rule, do unto others as we want others to do unto us. You are a person of your word, I stick to my promises. Whatever I say has to happen. Whatever I promise somebody, I will stick to my word. Come what may. Bhishma ki wo likhi hui, wo bolte na, it is like a line on it's like a patthar ki lakir, isko koi badal nahi sakta types. All right. Then you are the caregiver type, savior, if I am not there, nobody is going to save this person. I am the only one person on this planet Earth who can जो इस बंदे का या बंदी का उद्धार कर सकता है. So we feel that we have that feeling, inclination ke without me this person is a waste. If I don't interfere and do something about this person in his or her life, this person's life is a big waste. Very important point is fear of being neglected. All right. We feel that, like what Prabhuji was sharing earlier, we feel that, there may be many people around us in the society who will neglect us if we do not follow particular pratha bolte hai na. हम लोग ने अगर प्रथा सेट की है तो उसको एक सिस्टम सेट किया है, norm. So you have to follow that norm. Anybody, you must have observed, anybody who breaks the norms is scorned upon, right? Agreed or no? Anyone who breaks the social norms, na, like pagal hai. That is what people normally say. Then fear of displeasing someone, we discussed this earlier. We go with the wave now and sneak out later. We feel, अरे ठीक है, अभी के लिए मैं join कर लेती हूँ, ये कर लेता हूँ. I will come out from the back door. But what kind of an impact does it leave on your friends? Suppose you're in a group of friends, and you're in someone, from your friend's place, and they decide to go for a party. चलो हम लोग जाते हैं आज, let's go to the pub for a party. And you don't want to go, you have an exam to prepare the next day, you don't want to go, but at the same time you don't want to say no to them. So what you decide, that chalo, I'll join them for now, and then after 15-20 minutes I'll move out from that place. But what kind of an impression does that leave on your friends, that this person is not decisive, he cannot take decisions for himself or herself. So you don't want to be rude to people. You want to be, you want to please everyone. So you don't say no. You say, yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, dear. Whoever it may be, we just land up saying yes when we want to say no. And there are these very toxic people, who keep please, 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 kar do, please, 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 please do this, please do this, please do this. And finally, they literally wear you down. Literally. Please do it. No, please. This last time, do it. But that will not be the last time. You will have many other times which will come. So these are the most difficult people to, actually say no to. You don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. You don't want to be looked down upon by your friends. What is this weird person up to kinds, You don't want that to happen. Another thing is conditioning, as we spoke, how we have been brought up. So that also matters a lot. So what happens is, now this is the process, how it happens. You have a to-do list of yourself, and you have a to-do list of your friends or relatives or family members. What happens? Over a period of time, your to-do list sinks to the bottom. अगर वो फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड पे है तो 8th and 10th पे आ जाते हैं. And then you will see the ones which are on 8th, 10th and 10th have gone right up. So this is what normally happens. Your to-do list versus what others want you to do takes precedence. So your to-do list sinks right to the bottom, but what others want you to do takes precedence. So if your friend wants you to complete his or her project, you help the friend. If your parents want you to do something, you first go and do that. I'm not saying that don't help your parents, but express that you have something important, and I'm sure your parents will understand. That is very important. You not expressing yourself actually creates a lot of problem. I'm not saying here that you need to desire, you need to, uh, deny or, object to everything that your friends and parents tell you. No, it's not necessary. Here, you just need to express that this is what I need to do right at this point in time. For me, this is important. Just a minute. I need to do this first, and can I do this later? I'm sure things will work out better. So prioritizing your important work before that of others. All right. Saying no to requests is difficult. Younger you were, easier it was. So as when we were small, it was very easy, no? Mujhe nahi karna. No. You see so many children saying that, right? So many children. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go here. I don't want to go there. Okay. So saying a no when I was younger was much more easier than saying no right now. So what are the 10 powerful ways to say no? Any questions till now? Audience, participants, does anyone have any questions? Is it clear? Okay, fine. So 10 powerful ways to say no is, first thing is that we have to understand that we just can't please some people. All right. Second. One second, I think. Just a minute. I think one slide is missing. Just a minute, please hold on. Right. I think one slide was missing in this. I'll just, okay. The earlier slide is missing. I'll just explain the earlier slide. So the first thing here is that um, in the 10 powerful tips how to say no, is the first thing is that you keep in mind why you're saying no. Okay, it's very, very important for us to know why. So know the facts. Why am I saying no to this person, to this particular project? So focus on more of the positive things, because when you prioritize, the positive motivation that you to be able to say yes to things that you want, the positive things that you focus on will actually help you to say no to the negative things in your life. These are the things that will actually have some kind of, you will have to create some kind of hurdles or obstacles in life. So that is where these positive things will actually help you. So the positive motivation will help you to go through with your decision, even if it feels like, it's a tough decision. If you feel positive, then definitely you will you will be able to say no. Again, we need to prioritize, what are the three most difficult, three most priority things in my life. What is the top three priority things in my life? So when you prioritize, it becomes easier to say no. So the priority could be like spending more time with your family, a hobby that you would like to cultivate, reducing your debt or something like that. So that could be the three. So put it down on a post-it, write it, stick it over there, right in front of your face, so that you're able to understand and prioritize your um, critical things, critical areas of your life, and then it becomes easier to say no to things that you don't want to do. All right. And when you do this, when you put it on the post-it and keep it in front of you, it will help you focus and keep your attention focused on your priorities and not take it away from the priorities. All right. Second one is the kindly disarm and then state your need. What does this mean? See, for example, if somebody comes and asks you for something, you could always say that you are very, very flattered. You like you say, I'm feeling so flattered and I appreciate the offer, but I really don't have the time for this right now. Okay. So when you accept and acknowledge their, need, and then after that, it's like disarming. Like whenever, you must have seen a lot of these shootouts, right? In all these shootouts, in anywhere, if someone comes and shows a gun, so what does the other person do? He says, shant ho jao thodi der, they try to calm down that person first so that this person does not shoot. But similarly, you have to disarm the person. Okay. So it's known as disarming, and then after that stating that I cannot do this for you, I'm very flattered, I would love to, I wish I could do it, but I'm really sorry, I don't have the time right now. Okay. So that's one thing. Next is add how you feel about it. So it's not only necessary to disarm the person and say no, but there are always these pushy people who might want to overcome your objection. We want to sell you something, convince you, अरे ये ले लो मैडम, ये फिनाइल इतना powerful है, इतना अच्छा है आपको. Recently, actually, I would like to share, it's a wonderful experience. I had been to Big Bazaar for shopping. Okay. And we were walking down the aisle with that big huge cart, bolte na वैसे. Suddenly this lady just jumps out from somewhere with a huge bottle of, we had bought Lysol, all right, for the cleaning, home cleaning. And she comes with a huge bottle of some, I don't know, some very famous company ka, I'm not taking the name right now. Okay. So she comes with this huge 5 liter can. She says, madam, aap ye le lo. I mean, she literally hit me with that, that huge bottle. And I was like taken aback. I mean, who is she and why is she, kind of pouncing on me like this? So she said, madam, ye le lo. Isse ye bahut sasta hai. इसमें क्वालिटी भी है, क्वांटिटी भी है. And she says that these are the activities to which you say no, he or she will stop asking you about it. Like earlier Prabhuji was sharing The same thing I would like to say, that when I was working also, we used to go for these parties and all that. But over a period of time, when they saw that we don't take, alcohol, or we don't eat non-veg, they stopped calling us for the party. So it's okay. All right, you don't have to feel bad कि अरे मेरे को company party में नहीं बुलाया, फिर मेरा promotion का क्या हुआ. Attending the company party does not, define you as a person, whether you can do well in your job or no. What you do at work and how you work is what defines you as a person or as an employee. Realize that the world will go on. The world is not going to stop. If you don't go and save that person, there will be someone else who will come and save that person. So you don't have to worry about that aspect. Last but not the least, celebrate and analyze your successes. So whenever you say a no, it is important to reward yourself, because that provides a kick to your brain. It's like rewarding your brain for doing something good. So your brain remembers that. So it's known as retraining your brain. All right. So whenever you reward yourself for saying a no, the brain learns to say the no. All right. So that is important. How does it help? Practice of saying no, saying a considered no, helps you to stay in control of your time and life. Very, very important. Time lost is time lost. That's it. That is something which you will never get back, right? So if you want to manage your time better, you have to learn to prioritize, and you also have to learn to say a no to things which you feel are not necessary or important. It does not mean, saying no does not mean that you are selfish or uncaring. It just means that you are self-caring. Remember this it's very important. It does not mean that you are selfish or uncaring. That is one of the reasons why we feel guilty when we say no. Because we feel, I'm so selfish, I care only about myself. But problem is that you're not cared about yourself. That's why you're not said no for a long time. So now that you have started saying no to certain things, not everything, obviously, so you're actually becoming self-caring. It means you care enough to contribute 100%. All right. So either what will happen is that you will have too many, you will have your fingers into too many balls. क्या होगा तभी? ना खा पाएंगे ना पचा पाएंगे. That is how it is going to be. Neither will you be able to eat properly, nor will you be able to digest it. So you will not be able to give 100% to whatever you do. So don't overpromise and underdeliver. Many times it happens and we say, okay, I'll do this. And father, after some time we realize, I don't have the time to do it. And then we'll end up saying, nahi hua, abhi kya kare. So this is what happens when you overpromise and underdeliver. So I'm going to share my learnings today. Probably you all can share your learnings. So slowly losing friends is a part of growing up. It's okay to have less, but to have real ones. When you say yes to others, make sure you aren't saying no to yourself. Putting your wants above someone else's needs is selfish. Putting your needs above someone's wants is self-care. Social media is a curated way of presenting our best foot forward to the rest of the world. Sometimes we need to set boundaries for ourselves so that we can manage expectations and our personal time online. So these are my learnings. I would like all of you to share your learnings today. What is your take home for the day? Can we discuss it? Can we discuss our take home for the day? What are the things that you all have learned? Anyone would like to share? Any questions that you would like to ask? Nothing? No one has any questions? You can actually put it up on the chat also if you want. If you have any questions, you can put it up on the chat. Any questions, any queries?
Chat is disabled. Hare Krishna Mataji, Lakshmikant
Yes.
here.
Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
Mataji, I mean, you have given very nice tips, and with conscious efforts, we might also bring in the change or start saying no. But how to deal with, like, when it is in somebody's blood or in culture, or for a long time, like 20 30 years of till 20 30 years of age, there was no habit to say no. How difficult it would be to bring that change? I mean, can we really?
Very, yeah, it will, you can, Prabhuji. It will be very difficult. It will be very, very difficult, but you have to put in a very conscious effort. See, the first thing here, the important thing here is how much you value yourself, Prabhuji. You know, I don't know whether it is about you or somebody else, who it is basically how much you value yourself. You know, this happens a lot even with women at home. You know, house people who are working, especially women at home. I'm not taking any, giving any gender biased examples, but normally it happens, that women have a tendency to put the needs of family over, self. So over a period of time, they tend to realize that, Array, I've neglected my health, I've neglected my needs, my desires, and then one fine day it comes out in the form of a pressure cooker volcanic eruption, right? So Lakshmikanji, Prabhuji, even here in this, in your situation, whoever you're talking about, see, this person has been practicing, has not practiced at all to say no. So initially it will be very difficult. It will be difficult for that person also, and it will be difficult for the people around him or her also to accept. Ki, "Arey, suddenly what has happened to him? He started saying no, you know. But it has to be a very well thought out no. So say no for small, small things initially, Prabhuji. Don't let it make like a huge, big, huge thing. So let it seep in, and then over a period of time, you can, increase the, um, or you can say no to larger things which you feel you wanted to always say to. Have I answered your question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was someone else also who had raised his hand. That person is not there now. Anyone else has any question?
Yeah,
Yes,
sorry, I
Prabhuji.
wanted to ask you.
Yes.
So, how do we apply this principle in our office? So if you are working under somebody and you're, because you are an employee, and your boss tries to push a lot of things on you, and because of insecurity reasons, you tend to say yes to everything, and then you can't meet the timelines, or there is something which you can't do, but you still say yes to it. So how do
Yes.
we tackle this situation?
Prabhuji, Mr. Gandhi, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Gandhi, a very good question, sir. In fact, I have had quite a few clients in my career who have come to me for this problem. All right, so I will give you what I have actually told them. See, normally what happens is that we fear any kind of confrontation or conversation. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Okay. It depends on what kind of a person your boss is, your authority is. Suppose the person is someone who screams, yells, shouts, very impulsive, does not take, cannot handle a no. So at that point in time, it becomes difficult for an employee to have a conversation. But even then, I have recommended that find a time when your boss is a little, cool, calm, and discuss this with your boss. Go with a proper strategy and a plan in place that, sir, आपने मुझे इतने इतने काम दिए थे. I was able to do only this much work. Okay. So probably my capacity at this point in time is to just take up 8 instead of 10 projects. I need time to work on myself so that I can increase my potential to, probably take up more responsibilities. See, it is important for you to put it across. Now, whether he accepts it, does not accept it, that is not in our jurisdiction. Am I right or wrong? At least you have expressed
Yeah.
your feelings that these are the things that I can do and these are some of the things I cannot do. So at least we have expressed. So once you express, at least that person has this in his mind कि ठीक है भाई, next time से मुझे कुछ सोच समझ के if not immediately, but over a period of time, he or she will realize. And it has worked. It has actually benefited a lot of my clients who are, who are in the advertising industry. Please put yourselves on mute. So it has actually helped a lot of my clients to do this, having a very calm and composed discussion with their bosses regarding their shortcomings. You put it across as your concern, not as his, authoritative behavior. You put it across that I am unable to deliver this at this point in time. You're getting my point, sir, right?
Yeah.
So when you put it across like that, it is non-accusatory. You're putting across your concerns and your feelings. So that is what is required. That's all, nothing else. I'm sure something will happen. You can try that and see.
Sure. I'll put this into practice.
Please. Thank you. Anyone else who wants to ask any questions? No one? Shall we wind up the session then? Okay, so thank you very much, Hare Krishna, to all of you. Really grateful to all of you for joining. And I hope it has helped you all and will help you all in your journey to becoming better individuals and developing better, ways and means of saying, effective way of saying no. All right. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.